Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Awesome Premier League Season 2, Week 5, Red Lobby. I'm Esquire, joined here today on the casting desk by Mustache Dave. Dave, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, my man, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. Week 5, I'm ready for it. This is Lobby Red, so I am excited. Excited.
Yeah, certainly a lot to look forward to in the 4 games that we have planned for this evening coming out of Lobby Red. I mean, Dave, we've been on a hiatus for the last few weeks for Auzom here, taking a break while these pro teams competed in the IEM tournament and the Star Ladder tournament in Kiev. So we are finally back now, able to get into some of this PUBG tournament action going on here at Auzom. So I'm looking forward to it. We do have the plane coming out, though, Dave. It is going to be coming out of the northeast corner of the map, heading on a pretty good angle down towards the southwest corner. Yeah, I mean, pretty good angle here. We're going to have teams able to reach wherever they want to go for the most part. No area is going to be too far except for maybe this northwest corner here. But we already see teams dropping now. Kameshki and Stalber already being a hot spot, as well as this Yaznaya area. A lot of teams kind of spotting out to see if any other teams are going towards the location.
Definitely an interesting plane. It's going to allow everybody, like you said, just to loot and get their optimal spots here. So, I mean, you mentioned we had a hiatus, right? Lots of squad changes coming out here tonight. If you notice, Trigger Happy, Machine Gunner, Straight Cover Fire, Fear Me, that's a new roster, and a couple other ones as well. But looking up at Stalber, you got the Lime Squad there. They're gonna loot up there. That's Carbon and Jet Life. So it's gonna be interesting. Fresh names in here. Well, not fresh names, but fresh rosters, I would say. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they actually play it out here tonight.
Yeah, certainly these first few months of the year have been a mix-up. You know, a lot of teams have been switching rosters out a little bit, so we do see some teams operating under different names and different orgs tonight in this lobby. But Dave, all of our parachuters have now effectively claimed their locations. We see Optic opting for that Razak area, very close though to Watertown, where I believe that's going to be Fadeaway 3 has taken up. Pachinki being occupied here by the Sweaty Nerds. And, yeah, we do see Check 6 actually going for military base. It looks like they're going to split up into a 2-2, while 2 of their members remain on that northern side of the island there across from the military base. But yeah, Dave, that's that circle coming up.
Look at that first circle, though. I mean, Check 6, you got the 2-2 split. I mean, they got military base all to themselves, so they really have nothing to worry about for now. But transitioning into a circle, it's going to be a tough one here. We're looking at Micro Fry. Right now, he's just running, looking for some loot himself. Is he getting shot at? What's he getting shot at? I'm not exactly sure, but a lot of guys just looting right now. Rush right here. He's already got a couple guns to his name. He's going to approach this compound and get some more loot.
Yeah, actually, off screen, we just saw, or we saw in the kill feed at least, Filthy from Rush was able to get a headshot punch on one of the players on the map. So that's going to be an unfortunate start for that player, certainly, but a good start for Filthy. He's going to be happy to have picked up that kill, because kills certainly do mean something in these newly restructured point systems that have been in place in a lot of these tournaments. But Dave, I mean, looking at this circle, we see a lot of the teams are going to have to transition pretty far. I mean, no one is really safe except for a very few squads that have landed in this Razak area and the Severny area. We see Havoc over here and his teammates Amazon trying to find and scout out some locations, possibly occupy some new loot locations or a compound to hold, as they are in a favorable position in this circle.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we got one squad pretty much up there in Severny. They're going to be able to loot and pretty much get all the loot that's there. But meanwhile, we got, I believe, Elected and Crew. Was this the squad that lost that member early on? I'm not exactly sure. I didn't catch who Rush Filthy got the headshot on. But they do have 3 members so far. So
yeah, they do indeed. So you know, Dave, looking at this, I mean, we already see that's going to be Fury Gaming down in Primorsk. They're in a 2-2 split as well. it's going to be Fury and check 6 and these interesting 2-2 splits. I mean, what do you think about this? Looting here so separated.
The 2-2 split.
Yeah, well, I mean, even in this situation, I mean, they're very separated. Not even necessarily in a 2-2 split in terms of where product envy, nitrogen are, and in terms of where check split is or check 6 is. I mean, if they are caught out, I mean, they're going to have very little utility in terms of other teammates being able to provide cover for them.
Yeah, I mean, if two of them get knocked out, that's pretty much GG for these guys because they're not going to transition all the way down south to get the raise off, or transition all the way north to get the raise off, and vice versa, because it's just going to be too dangerous. So they're going to be down 2 members extremely early, and it's not going to look good. So at that point, really, you can only go for placements because taking any fight with the full 4-man squad is just going to be too dangerous. So it does have its risk, but it does have its advantages. Like we mentioned, they have the opportunity to pretty much get tons of loot, but at what cost, really? Like, is it worth it? I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, to check 6, it is.
Yeah, exactly. We have Optics Hetror now leaving the Razak area, departing his teammates to go out and get a more centralized location. He's been able to scout out this compound and is now looting it, realizing that it is going to be theirs for the taking if their teammates are able to make it there. So with that, Dave, we do also have a crate coming out here on the southern edge of the circle where I would estimate a lot of players are going to start gravitating towards, as this circle is very far towards the north and is going to push a lot of these teams here in the south directly towards that path.
Yeah, I mean, I believe right on the edge, right there in Pachinki, that is squad Sweaty Nerds. So they might have had visual on the care package, but if I had to assume at least one of these people, who's going to get it, it might be Jasper. He has a vehicle. He's the closest one to it, but actually by his indicator, he doesn't seem to be very interested in the crate. And that's interesting. A lot of these pro games, these guys, they just don't care about the crates. Personally, I love crates. I'm a crate hunter myself, but why is that? Why do you think that is? What's your professional opinion on why these guys just avoid crates?
Well, the crates, at least in the competitive environment, it can be a lot of risk for very little reward. I mean, these pros are effectively very good at hitting their shots, and given that, I mean, a lot of these rifles are very dangerous, but we do have shots now coming out as Void's Amazon is popping off at 100 rounds right there. That's going to be 100 rounds of murderous plush toys, able to escape with about half of his HP in the UAS, but taking a lot of damage in the process, while Amazon is actually wasting a lot of ammo as well. Another squad now that's going to be Hooligans is driving past this compound, so Amazon and his teammate Daly and Pig are just going to be raining down shots with that AK onto those cars, not able to connect, but enough to just drive them away from this compound so that they can securely hold it. I mean, look at their position. They're in a fairly good position, but they are separated from their teammate right up there to the north. That's going to be Havoc Pigeon now transitioning, trying to get a little bit further south so he can reunite with his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, decent positioning. I wasn't exactly sure what type of loot they have to their name here, but the Amazon, I would just stay there. I mean, Havoc, I like that spot. It's fairly safe right there. You just never know where this next circle is going to pop. And if all goes to hell, you got that water right there. Just jump in the water, go for a sweet swim. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do. But I mean, it's an option, right?
Yeah, it certainly is an option, and Hooligans, who drove past Amazon and the rest of Team Void right here in this compound, have now stopped a little bit over to the west down the road and are now taking shots using these vehicles to get a very good vantage. I mean, we talked about this compound in the past, Dave. We saw some very interesting plays coming out of this, I believe a few weeks ago, from one of our squads. And the auzom games specifically, and it was pretty interesting to see what they were able to do given this effectively shield of a wall they have in front of them, and using the UAZs and other vehicles as sort of boosters
to stand on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that play. That was a pretty sick play in this exact compound. So I mean, depending on how this circle plays out here, I mean, we could see round 2. Because if I was watching that, I would definitely add that one to the playbooks, as it was pretty phenomenal what they pulled off there. And I believe they placed fairly high off of that strategy as well.
Yeah, they certainly did. We've got Biz now of Check 6 transitioning into the circle, possibly scouting out some sort of location for his squad to go to. We had looked at them earlier down here in the southern portion. They were in the military island, so they're going to be now crossing the bridge, jacking off and Biz in their own vehicles, trying to reunite with MJ and Shadow, who have now opted for a little bit of a northern location. They certainly have to rotate into the safe zone very soon, as the blue zone is now approaching.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be definitely one of the stories that we follow, as we made mention of that 2-2 split early on. So it's going to be interesting to see how it actually plays out for Check 6 and if it plays out in their favor. So I want to have my eye out on these guys for sure. But in the meantime, we got these, what is this, Murder's plush toys in this compound. Looks like they're opting to transition to a new spot. I mean, they are in the current zone, so I don't see why they would want to, but it looks like Major NL might be going out scouting. So I don't know. Could be a risky call here as he is pretty much driving right into Matthew. So
Yeah, and we have shots now coming out of this compound that Hetchbert was able to secure for the rest of Team Optic earlier in this first circle, and those shots are going to be effectively going out towards Jasper and the rest of Fadeaway 3, who are just a little bit downhill, but not too far away also is, I believe that, yeah, Elusive Gaming here, just to the northwest. So a lot of squads now gravitating towards this very centralized location. Optic probably being the most centralized, but I mean, look at this, Dave.
yeah,
We've got the Hooligans over here, and then we've also got Void just right to the east, and they're going to be taking more shots from this Hooligan squad, able to get now on top of these vehicles for that elevated vantage down onto this compound. I mean, Dave, Hooligans are just in a great spot to referee any fights that start to happen down there, or if they can get any sort of line of sight on the teams that are down there. That's going to be, yeah, Void.
Void. I mean, I think they're both in decent spots, honestly. Taking these fights early on, first circle's not even collapsed in yet. I don't know. It might, in my opinion, it's just not worth it because you're going to use up your ammunition and you're running the risk of getting a headshot in return and losing a helmet. And those two compounds right there most likely do not have a backup helmet available. So definitely risky here. Here we go. Lush from I believe he's on Trifecta tonight. Not sure. I might be mistaken, but he got has some crate weapons.
Yeah, they certainly just got a crate dropped right on top of them in that Severny area, somewhere that they had chosen to loot earlier. But Hypoc has now spotted those enemies down in that gas station. That's going to be Team Hooligans, who we had just talked about having a very good position. Hypoc spotted him out, able to feed that information to the rest of his team and take some shots down there. Not able to connect and certainly giving away his position. They are now going to have to kind of hover back to each other to provide support in case any other squads decide to push onto them.
Yeah, and talking about Optic in particular, 17 is not with them. He's actually on the other side of the river here. So, I mean, no one's going to be pushing Optic in that current compound right now, but it is going to be something to also pay attention to if 17 can get to his squad safe and sound, as Fadeaway 3 might have vision on him if he was to opt into connecting up and hooking up.
Yep, and the blue zone has finally reached the first zone, giving our players on the map their next zone to transition to. And look at that, Dave. It has cut out this northern part with all of the water. I think our players are very happy to see that. But a lot of these squads now are going to be focusing on this centralized location where Optic, the rest of Fadeaway 3, and these other squads on the east have taken up, I guess, these compounds for safety. We already see a transition coming out from Allergene and Fignaldo and the rest of their squads.
That east side is just going to light up here like a Christmas tree, as all these squads are transitioning now. They're being forced to go into here, but all these compounds that we were making mention of, most of them are already occupied, all the ideal ones at least. And these guys transitioning over above that water mass up there, they're finding out the hard way, as our boys over there in that compound are just laying down fire on every single buddy right there. Rush on those numbers going down. We go Lush taking shots here on Rush, trying to complete the task at hand here. But they're gonna leave. I believe that was who's that? Yusuf. Yep, he's a goner. He's not getting the raise off.
Yeah, Rush's Yusuf ran directly into the compound where Trifecta was holding up. That's going to be Lush, Microfry, It's Imagine, and their teammates. So just those three actually. So they were able to take him down and then get the final kill on him. So Rush is now going to be without that teammate also. So it looks like Rush is down to effectively 2 players here as they try to figure out what they are going to do. Filthy taken down to very low HP, possibly 1% HP, is able to get the first aid off, but losing a lot in the process. His car is smoking, so this is certainly going to be dangerous moving forward. It's about at 20% HP itself and almost out of fuel, so he's going to be very careful as he continues to drive inside of this circle, as we have shots coming out everywhere, Dave.
Yeah, they're just popping off left and right. And looking at the minimap, 17, he's actually being pushed on right there with this squad. He's actually in an engagement right now with Set to Destroy. He's all by himself in a compound, and the whole Set to Destroy squad is currently rushing that one building. So we made mention of this. I mean, they're a 3-1 split. I was wondering how this is going to play out, and we're going to see right now. I mean, they have an idea, or at least they're clearing this as if someone might be there. Oh, so close to spotting him. He has to hear him. He has to hear him.
He certainly has to hear him. VTV of Set to Destroy is going to be pushing into this building where 17 is lying in wait, I believe, on the roof. He's going to need to be very careful. They now have shots on him. Allogene taking shots, not able to connect yet, but now pushing onto the roof where 17 is lying in the corner, gets downed and then killed by VTV with the headshot. So that is going to be a tough loss for Optic, as they're now left with only 3 players in a very vulnerable spot in the circle. This centralized spot is going to be very, very popular and in demand should this circle continue to shrink around that location.
I mean, they had 2, spots, and I feel like 17 was definitely playing that insurance policy down there in the southern part of this current zone, but it's just not paying off, leaving the 3 members of Optic just to be by themselves in another compound. Here we go, Trifecta still putting in work here. Lush already 1 kill to his name, trying to add some more points to the leaderboard here tonight, as these guys, they're in the zone, and they have a lot of people surrounding them. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, they do have a lot of people surrounding them. They're going to need to be careful, as this is a very popular area in the middle of the circle. But shots coming out now from Rozok across the channel right there from Allogene, trying to connect with any shots he can onto the rest of Fadeaway 3 right there. Micro Fry taking some more shots over there, able to get it down. It's Imagine connects onto Mr. Fuzzy HD, so that is going to be a down over there for Bar Dave and the rest of his squad. Unfortunate to say the least, but it looks like they're going to be able to get him up. Mr. Fuzzy HD is now up, going to have to get behind this building for some sort of cover, as Bar Dave now peeks out and tries to see if he can spot and give some information to his team.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a current engagement right here, and that whole that northeast side, depending on this next circle that we're about to see here, wow, all those squads have to make a push. Holy camole. Optic actually opting into going back to their original compound. I guess they didn't like that one to the north because they were predicting that it's just going to blow up here, as all these squads, look how many squads are in the north here. That's what, at least 10 squads. I mean, we only have 3 in the current zone here, so everybody else is outside. This is going to blow up here as we are watching Set to Destroy just taking some nice shots across the way. They're in the zone, and it looks like Optic is coming for some revenge here for 17, as they did transition back into the...
Yeah, with this new circle, Dave, a lot of these teams now being pushed out of the northern edge of the previous circle are going to have to fight for this. And Dave, given the percentages in this circle, it looks like it might be favoring a southern part towards the Rozok area. So Optic heading into that Rozok area where they believe the circle is going to go. But the 3 remaining members of Set to Destroy are lying in wait right there. They took out 17 of Optic earlier, so they are certainly, looking for those other 3 teammates, as OG or Ojuna is taking a lot of shots now, dipping into the water. He's going to need to be very careful.
Void was just lighting everybody up, and they're still up. They got a full squad, full roster. They actually forced, I believe, Trigger Happy to go into the water here. But a Beautiful Death is actually taking some shots right here in this sneaky spot. Is he going to be able to connect any of these on Trigger Happy? I think not, but if I were Trigger Happy, honestly, I have no idea where I would be going right now, besides just swimming, because this is all going to be contested right there. I mean, these guys are just swimming for I don't even know where. I mean, where would you go?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. This Rozok area is going to be very, very populated. It's got a lot of compounds, and it's very centralized in terms of where this next circle after this one is probably going to be heading. If you were going to hedge your bets, but it looks like Optic has now spotted out the members over there. They're going to be trying to rain some shots and connect, but it doesn't look like they're able to. It's going to be Matthew, Carbon, Puniji, and the rest of the Slime Squad right here now taking up cover, trying to aim through these windows and get some shots off.
Yeah, I mean, we got fights going on every single where, in the center, on the edges. I mean, Sunken City, there's 3 squads over there as well. I mean, just this whole circle pretty much threw a wrench in everybody's plan here, as we're watching the Slime Squad trying to defend their current compound. I mean, these guys are just rubbing elbows left and right. Trigger Happy was able to make it on the shore and find a compound. So now we have 4 squads in this current city, and we're about to have 3 in Sunken City. So it is just a congestion. I mean, this is that 6 o'clock traffic jam that we all hate, right? Happening
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. And it is a tough one for these teams. I mean, effectively, Dave, if any of these teams begin to engage in any types of battles, there's at least going to be 2 other teams very close by that are going to be in a position to possibly referee these fights. They're going to need to be very careful, but each of these teams has fairly defensible and good compounds here in this Rozhok area, but this circle is now collapsing, Dave. So we're going to be getting our new circle fairly soon, and what's going to be interesting is whether or not it is going to continue to push these northern teams further south and have to make this transition across this channel.
And if it does, I believe there's 5 squads in total on that northern edge of the water there. So if all 5 of those squads have to push down south and over the water, there's really no safe choice. I mean, even if you're going for the swim on your exit out of the water on the shore, you're just leaving yourself open, shot down. So it's going to be interesting. Sweaty Nerds, squad number 14. I believe they are, yep, on the southern edge of this current circle here, kind of playing gatekeeper to check 6 and look at the zone. Look at this zone.
Yeah, so pretty much all of the teams that decided to make their bet and go towards that Rozhok area made a great decision, as the new safe zone has centralized on that Rozhok area for the most part, pushing all of these teams in the north down south. Effectively, no team in the north is safe, as Hedgeberg from Optic has now spotted out VTV over on Set to Destroy, who was in this warehouse compound just to the northwest of them. He's now separated from his teammate, dropped down the hill, and takes a lot of damage in the process, while we had Elected ending up getting a headshot with the M416 onto 100 rounds off screen there to the northeast.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this zone, I'm scared of this zone, and I'm not even playing in this game. But Optic seems to be putting in the most work, as they are just shooting at every single buddy they can. They're taking shots at Murder's plush toys right now across the water, and it looks like Trigger Happy wants a piece of this. They're also taking shots at them. But look at the hooligans. They were pushing into Murder's plush toys and opting to pretty much go back. You know, they're gonna have to rotate out the zone here. This is tricky. This is gonna be a tricky situation for any of these squads that currently aren't inside this zone. As looks like, I mean, there's a couple buildings here and there, but it's just going to be an extremely tough time to get to those buildings inside the zone, as these squads are just going to be able to pretty much pick apart anybody.
Yeah, Fear Me over on Trigger Happy is able to spawn out Mr. Fuzzy HD and the rest of the Murderous plush toys up there on the hill. Takes a few shots, not able to connect with anything serious enough to put out any type of damage, but they certainly are aware of their presence as more teams are now transitioning. That's going to be Major NL of the Murderous plush toys trying to push down into that channel with the UAZ, not able to get there though, as he gets blown up in that car. Not before, however, cover fire ends up getting a headshot by the M416 by Jet Life.
Yeah, I mean, that was just an amazing play right there. He was driving right towards them. But looking at this map, we got a couple bridge trolls here and there. Team ready over here, just taking some shots while they can. And we have Elusive Gaming working their way into the zone. They're going to be pushing in kind of late here. But here we go. Good old-fashioned Little Mermaid coming in hot here tonight. Honestly, if you're not already in the town and it's just too dangerous, I would probably be swimming myself here too. I know a lot of these players, they hate the water, they make fun of it, but at this point in the game, you know, there's still 15 teams alive in total. You don't have an option. If you don't have a building, you have to go swimming.
Yeah, that's right. And grenades are now coming out. Probably one of the best ways to put out damage when you have teams swimming in the water. That grenade area damage is just insane, what it is able to do, and certainly what it does to positioning, as we have more squads now opting for this channel area. That's going to be Fury Gaming and I believe, yeah, Rush Filthy all alone here in between all of these players. And with that vision inside of this channel when you're underwater, Dave, I mean, you can see everyone. You know that there are players around you. And I mean, look at this. Elusive Gaming up here with 4 players up. Yeah. They see all of these players jumping into the water. They're going to be able to play gatekeeper here, but the blue zone is pushing in on them very close.
I mean, they could stay on the outside of the water, but Set to Destroy is also shooting at them in return. So they're most likely going to opt into going for a swim as well. And I already see a couple members from Elusive Gaming actually going in the water. As if you have to ask me personally, Set to Destroy, their current position right now on the western northwestern side, kind of overlooking all the water, is ideal to rack up as many kills as possible. And look at that, they're gifted this circle, so they're going to be able to kind of just hang out in their current compounds. They are split apart, so if Optic was to push one of them, they might be in a dangerous spot. But honestly, if you want to rack up some frags here, I am definitely feeling set to destroy the current position. And we're watching Twitch Jasper take a couple shots here. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, Jasper just connected big time, able to get 2 downs onto LTP Lush and his teammate, leaving Microfry as the only remaining teammate up for you know, Dave, I don't think that's trifecta, but I'm not seeing what.
Oh, it's trifecta. It's trifecta.
Is that the new trifecta?
I don't know if it's a new trifecta, but it's trifecta.
Okay, well, there we go. Microfry is now going to be trying to get its Imagine up. His other teammate, L2P Lush, is across the channel, so not able to do much. But yeah, Jasper was able to cross that channel and just get immediate sights onto the squad, but ends up getting taken down by Microfry. Microfry connects with the headshot with that Scar, actually. So very deadly gun and shots coming out of him, as Filthy is now trying to figure out what he can do. He's a solo player surrounded by so many people. A6 now taking a bunch of shots as well for fadeaway 3. I mean, Jasper's already down. Fatal Sights is trying to get Jasper up. So these northern teams, Dave, they really just, you know, got put into a chaotic position as this circle really adjusted out of where they thought it was originally going to go towards.
Yeah, they're just screwed right now. I mean, you're in the water. I mean, you could possibly swim your way. I don't even know where they would swim because all the shores are pretty much being overlooked here. I mean, a couple of these squads in the compounds, they're fighting one another here. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. I saw a machine gunner was taken out. Trigger happy. They're just getting picked apart left and right here as a lot of these squads are kind of coming out the water there in the eastern shore as Havoc and them are popping out. But I don't know. If you're in the water, obviously, you know, best hopes is that you place higher. But I'm definitely favoring all these squads that are in Rozhawk.
Yeah, somewhere we haven't really looked, Dave, is the southern edge of the circle as check 6. And yeah, I believe the Sweaty Nerds have now crossed over from the Water Tower Hill and occupied the southern end of the Rozhawk town. They're in a very good spot. However, they have engaged with shots over on the Slime Squad. That's going to be check 6 now taking some shots and trading out some shots as well. MJ taking a lot of damage in this trade is going to have to now pop down and get some bandages going to get that health back.
Yeah, I mean, they're most likely going to be forced to fight each other there in the south as they are rubbing shoulders as well. But this urban combat here, you know, it's going to be interesting because I know a lot of people, they don't like to run these shotgun, you know, they don't like to run the umps and the Uzis. But I mean, in my opinion, this is kind of where you'd see that come into play late game, close quarters. But hey, I don't know. But let's see. Right now, we're looking over the water here. Couple guys able to make it onto shore, but it doesn't matter. Next circle's up. They're gonna have to push some more, and a lot of these squads that are in the compounds, they're gonna have to relocate themselves here.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Optic is now going to be pushed out of the compound for the most part. Waka's building is slightly in, so he's going to be safe for the time being, but they're certainly going to want to vie for a better position as most of these squads now in the north are realizing that they have a long way to go in terms of how compactly tight this circle is. A lot of teams now alive, 13 teams still alive, Dave, with this tiny circle in this Rozhawk area.
Yeah, that's
as
amazing.
The Slime Squad and Check 6 are just sitting on the southern edge, having to rotate themselves, but trying to pick off some of these teams that they see trying to transition in the process.
Yeah, that's just amazing how many squads are actually still in this game, and the circle is just so small. But if you were to ask me, I would try to actually get on that northern edge of the water right here. I mean, there's a tree, there's 2 rocks. I mean, if you can get on the shore on that side, you might be able to survive just a little longer. But right now, we're watching Hypoc take some shots, break the door apart. Is he gonna connect? He's connecting some of them, taking a shot in return here. But nice shot that's coming out from Hypoc, the god, the legend himself right there.
Yeah, Set to Destroy began to rotate. They were in a building just to the west of where Optic had taken up, so they were rotating into Optic. Optic able to spot them out and take the shots and able to get 1 knock. Now trying to see if they can connect with more damage. We just spotted onto Hypoc, able to connect very much so inside of that building, put a lot of damage out onto Allergene. Fignaldo now trying to take some peeks himself to see if he can connect, and he does with a headshot with the Car 98 on a Hypoc. So Hypoc is now going to be taken down as his 2 remaining teammates in that building try to get him back up and provide some cover.
Yeah, I mean, he was taken down, but if you have to ask me, I'm favoring Optic's position as they're going to be able to play gatekeeper. and Set to Destroy realizing that actually making the rotate, but they're going to the southern edge of this, and they might get wiped in the process, as there are just 3 squads already currently positioned there. Check 6, they're looking everywhere. They're making sure nobody gets close to them, closing the door here. Look at all these bodies just stacked on top of one another, getting shot left and right. This is just a nasty zone.
Yeah, bodies stacking up as 12 teams now are trying to push into this very tiny circle. A lot of these teams were not safe originally, so they are certainly wide in the open now, as Fury Pro is trying to take out the rest of these people who have been using the water for cover for most of the game so far, as this channel has been pretty much a hotbed for action for the last few circles, Dave.
And it still is. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squads still in the water. So, I mean, you're out here wondering how are there 11 teams alive? It's because half of them are in the water swimming, going for placements here. But it's not going to last for long here, as the next circle is about to pop up. These guys are just so close to each other. If they were to fart out of fear, you would definitely smell it, just because how close they are. Next circle's up. All these water. There's a tiny smidge of water. Tiny smidge. But most of these guys are going to have to push up here just momentarily. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly who makes it out of the water alive.
Yeah, certainly. And the southern edge of the circle now, which was originally a fairly safe location in terms of being on the southern edge of the last few circles, is now very, very tightly packed, as we have 2 members of Sweaty Nerds now occupying this shed just next door to where Check 6's MJ is hiding. He certainly hears them in there and ends up throwing a grenade. The rest of the Sweaty Nerds are trying to run out of there, able to get out of there before the grenade goes off, so they save themselves the double nade killed there. MJ, hearing all these footsteps, though, is relaying that info to the rest of his teammates. Just jacking off left, actually, for Check 6 with MJ.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna have to wait this one out, as they are at a disadvantage as far as number goes, and they're in a sandwich situation, just squeezed between everybody. Right now we see these guys, their attention is actually over there looking at somebody else. Sweaty Nerds, he's getting shot in the rotation on the way. Optic, Hypoc taken out through the smokes. Tide taken out. Jet Life taken out. Trevor, all these guys are just getting picked apart left and right. MJO, we were just talking about him, taken out as well. So everybody is just losing so many members right now as this circle is pushing.
Yeah, Circle is now pushing in. The blue zone will be constricting onto these players even further. The northernmost team still trying to use whatever part of the water is still available to sort of avoid these shots.
Amazon actually came out the water and started laying down some cover fire on some of these swimmers here. He's gonna keep doing it, but he's getting shot in return, so he's actually having to opt into going back into the water, as Poonage is out there trying to play spoiler to him. So I mean, hey man, lifeguard on duty, but seriously, man, let's see what happens here. Circle almost collapsed in all the way. This is gonna be interesting. We have only 2 squads actually pretty much on the mainland here. We got Optic and we have Slime Squad, and I'm liking Slime Squad's current position with that 3-1 split. Poonage is just going to be able to rack up as many kills over here in the water, as we already see him taking some shots.
Yeah, they're in a very interesting location. Like you mentioned, Dave, only 2 squads in traditional positions here in this circle. That's going to be Optic and, yeah, the Slime Squad. But they're going to get pushed out as well, as they have spotted each other, and they're now going to be taking shots. Optic's Baja Waka trying to connect and not able to, as nades are now coming out in this northern edge of the circle, Dave, with these teams in the water. That's going to be Jet Life being down by a grenade coming out of Optic's Hypoc. So good grenades coming out of Optic, but they will both have to be pushing. So this is a good distraction if Optic needs to utilize this to get into the circle, but there is not going to be much cover there, Dave, if they do. We have Hypoc now trying to peek through these windows the 4 times on the M416. You know, probably one of the better weapons right now, Dave, I'd say, in terms of competitive play. You see a lot of these players opting for that double M416 setup, now trying to peek in. Hypoc able to spot out Carbon XYZ in that window there. XYZ or Carbon able to get out of that window before any shots ended up bringing out, but he's got a very slight very narrow, I guess, advantage on him if he's able to connect. But more shots now coming out as Carbon XYZ was able to connect with a headshot onto Baja Waka. So Optic taking a lot of damage now. They only have 2 players up. Baja Waka is currently down, but nades are coming out. They have lost a lot, Dave, as the blue zone is now pushing into them. Hypoc taking down very low, ends up getting knocked, had lost his helmet in that engagement. Hetero with no helmet himself, putting out a lot of damage, but ends up getting killed. So that's going to be Optic out of the game right now in 8th place. Jetlife able to get Matthew up after that engagement. So a great job by by the Slime Squad there, as Carbon XYZ is now going to be popping some meds, trying to use this wall, effectively the only cover in this final zone that we're looking at, Dave. I mean, these teams are still over here in the water trying to fight out.
Let's go to the water. Let's go to the water. There's going to be fish in the barrel at this point. Honestly, let's see. Can Traded win? Can Product Envy win? Can Filthy win? Or can Amazon win? Which one is going to survive the longest here? Put your guesses in the chat right now. Who's going to survive as Slime Squad is just going to be taking them apart left and right. Rush taken out right there. Now we got 3 more fish left. Oh, Amazon taken out as well. Furry taken out. And looks like Trigger Happy is the victor when it comes to swimming. Wow. 2nd place off of swimming. That is phenomenal. But we can't take away from Slime Squad's fantastic push there on Optic. But if I was Optic, you just have to be so upset because, I mean, getting wiped there, it secured you to the 8th place spot, and there were only 2 squads on the mainland at the time. So that just goes to show you how this water plays such a crucial role in placement.
Yeah, certainly a very interesting first game of the evening for our NA APL Lobby Red. I mean, Dave, a fairly eventful game. I mean, a lot of action. These circles certainly threw off a lot of these teams. I mean, we saw pretty much half, if not a little bit more than half of the lobby all hedged their bets towards that northern edge of the circle, and it really backfired on them as the circle itself favored that Razak area, and that's where it ended, effectively ending. And like you said, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, they were just able to run on top of them. Slime Squad, it was able to run on top of these players still in the water, and it became a battle as to who can hold their breath the longest to avoid those shots.
Look at all those kills they got from the water, I feel like, alone, right? I mean, we only really witnessed some wipe out Opt, but besides that, most of these kills come from the water, I want to say. Any squads in particular really sticking out to you though? I mean, besides obviously Slime Squad. I mean,
I think a lot of our teams were in fairly good positions in terms of where they initially thought that the circle was going to go, and I think a lot of the teams were hitting their shots, but they just got stuck in unfortunate positions, you know. But I mean, you got to give it up. I mean, Slime Squad coming in 1st place, Trigger Happy with a 2nd place finish, and then Fury and the rest of their team with that 3rd place finish in our first game of the evening now. So we're going to throw it to an intermission and get our 2nd game of the night up and running, guys. It has been a pleasure casting the first game so far. My name is Esquire, joined by Mustache Dave. We will be back very shortly with our 2nd game of the evening.
How long?